and then a seller calls and says, hey, I never sold my property. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, no, I don't even have a child. I've seen it go all the way through to where we've had an AI video.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Tomomi. Today I have Max from Equity Title here, and I will ask a couple questions.
Yeah.
Yes, please introduce yourself.
Max with Equity Title. Thank you so much, Tomomi, for having me on. I'm a sales rep here at Equity Title. Just help out with the process through title and escrow.
Okay, so first of all, I have a basic question. What is title?
So title is really just all about the ownership of the property. So it's the chain of ownership, who owns the property lines, things like that.
Okay, so it's kind of like history of the house, right?
Absolutely. It's the history, the chain, everything that's gone on with the property so far. That's a basic title. It's just who owns the property and the rights to it.
Okay, so why it's important?
So title is important to give clear ownership to the new transfer. So that's where escrow comes in. Escrow is really the neutral third party that goes through all the lines, details, and finds out the chain of title. See if there's any, ex-spouses that we need to get into the property to make sure things are signed. And that way the new buyer can come take the property clear and free, get the clean title as well as keys to the property.
Okay, so what exactly the difference between title and escrow?
Yeah.
Is that same thing or?
Two different things. Escrow is the people that handle the whole process of transferring from one owner to the next. They're that neutral third party that makes sure everything gets done correctly. And then afterwards, title companies and title insurance comes into place to ensure that you've purchased this home. It is your home. Nobody can come take it from you.
Okay. So you just mentioned, what is title insurance?
So yeah, title insurance protects your most valuable asset. So we at an escrow company, we go through the whole chain of command. We find any liens, any encumbrances, property lines, make sure everything looks good. And then we will ensure that work that is done properly to make sure that you're getting clean title. Title insurance, in a worst case scenario, I've seen it work. There's been a lot of people that'll come in and try to buy up land. Land is typically where you'll see a lot of fraud or title fraud. They'll come say, this is my property. They'll do a lot to get through the process. It'll end up getting sold for some unforeseen reason. And then the new buyer takes possession. And then a seller calls and says, hey, I never sold my property. So you just spent a lot of money. You got a loan, most likely, to buy that land. And that guy that sold it to you is now gone. Nobody can get a hold of him. Title insurance covers you from that, as well as, let's say the old owner had maintenance issue or landscaping that he just never paid the bill on. And later they come back and say, hey, I'm owed this for this and this, that, and the other. Title insurance will protect you, so then that way you don't have to take care of that old bill.
Okay. So hopefully we don't need to use title insurance, right?
Yeah.
That's why title is there to make sure. But
that's why escrow is there to make sure that the chain of command, yes, everything goes good.
So the title insurance is in case they couldn't find this fraud and something happened after the purchase, title insurance comes in and help protect.
Yeah, for instance, when with an escrow company, the last thing they do is they take a picture of the house. So everything's closed, recorded. We got to go get a picture of the house. What we're looking for is any landscaping companies, anybody making any changes to the property, because landscapers or any other, when they don't get the bill and they've tried to get their bill paid for, let's say 2-3 years, they'll now see that you're selling the property and then they'll notify and say, hey, I'm owed a piece of this. We want to make sure that the new buyer, the new home buyer, doesn't have to take care of a bill that wasn't theirs in the first place. So title insurance will really help out for that. In a lot of cases that I've seen where property fraud and land fraud are on the rise tremendously. All the time, there's so many things that people will do to steal identity to be able to then go through the process of purchasing the home. I've seen it go all the way through to where we've had an AI video where we were trying to do a mobile notary and it was all from their photo ID, so they couldn't raise a hand. And we caught them because we were asked them to raise their right hand and they couldn't raise their hand. So we shut everything down right then.
Oh
But
my God.
sometimes they'll get through that process.
So that case, somebody faking the ID and saying this property is mine and try to sell it, try to get the money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So Escrow is the company to prevent this happening.
Yeah. And then insurance protects you that if it does go through, that you don't have to take care of a $500,000 mortgage that you no longer have property rights to because the old seller never sold that home in the first place. So we take care of the loan. We take care of everything. We put the buyer back in whole and we get the seller their home back. And then unfortunately, the buyer would just have to start that process over of buying another home.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. I've seen it happen where a flipper here bought a home, flipped the home, totally revamped the home, and then months later sold the home, and then come to find out of state seller comes in and he's like, I've never sold this home before. This is not. And so they had to end up paying back the buyer's whole loan amount, reimbursing the buyer everything that they put into it. And the seller just got a new revamped home from the flipper, basically.
But that's because buyer already made the innovation.
Right.
And put money on.
Right.
How that's going to happen. So the house price is not going to be same. Right.
Right. But it doesn't matter because that seller never sold. So if that seller never sold, he comes, proves that he never sold that house and that it was a fraudulent transaction. Unfortunately, that person that did the fraud ran away. There's no getting a hold of him again. When you purchase title insurance, it's a one-time transaction. You don't do it monthly. So you purchased it for a $300,000 property. Now the value in that property has gone up to $500,000. We still protect you for the whole $500,000. It's not like you're only protected for the $300,000 part of that home.
Okay, so pretty much you want to pay the money back to the buyer, and the buyer has to return the home.
Yep. We take care of the loan. We take care of the down payment. We take care of everything. We restore everybody to whole. Seller gets their keys back. Buyer gets all the money back, and they unfortunately just have to start to find a new home again.
Well, but
absolutely
after finding the original seller, the buyer can purchase this house again if they want to?
If the seller wanted to sell.
But usually not the case?
Usually not the case. Like in that instance, the seller did not want to sell. And it was unfortunate because it took so long. I've seen another one happen where it was right away.
Yeah. Is there any time limit?
There's no time limit.
Okay.
The preliminary report is really just going to show any encumbrances, any liens, any judgments, child support, anything like that that is back owed. Child support's a sticky one because especially with common names, it happens like a John Smith where you're going to see, oh, he owes child support. And then you reach out to John Smith and you'll say, hey, when we pulled the preliminary report, we see that there's a couple child support liens. Were you aware of these? And they're going to be like, oh my gosh, no, I don't even have a child. And that's typical. That happens a lot. So what we do is we reach out as the escrow company to the lawyers and find out, okay, what is this? Who is John Smith? Give me the exact idea. Okay, this is not our John Smith. And then we proceed to go forward.
It's going to be very tough investigation for somebody named John Smith. They are like millions.
Right. For sure it is. And that's why we like to get the preliminary started right when you get a listing is because especially when it comes to closing, if we're expecting to close within that short time frame, I mean, I've seen we closed it within 14 days before. Don't get me wrong, typically is around 30 to 45. But when we want to, us here at Equity, we want to get that out. So then that way we can get you into a closing position where we can close in 14 days or 30 days. And if we get ahead of it, where we send you the preliminary report, you guys as agents look it over and say, hey, okay, there's a lien for a pool guy right here. Oh, there's also a lien for child support. We could look into those things and make sure that either A, they've been taken care of, or B, it's something that we're going to need to take care of through escrow.
Through escrow. So seller does not have to pay it off, but it will be paid off at the time of closing.
100%. So let's say John Smith did own back child support and he never paid it off and he doesn't want to pay it off. right now. Well, when we get to escrow and everything funds get distributed, we will pay that lien off before the buyer takes possession of the home.
Okay, just in case the lien is more than the house price or something like that, then we can't do that.
Right.
So what's going to happen in that case?
We're going to need money down from the seller to be able to pay that down. So either
So
they
that
deposit,
has to be before close of escrow.
right.
Yeah.
So either they deposit money into the escrow company, and then we take that money and we make sure that it break even, and we could pay all distributions out to everybody, and then buyer
So it's going
can
to be
take clean
free
title.
and clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I think you have more to say, but let's finish this time.
Yeah.
And thank you so much. And maybe we can do the second round of interview.
Absolutely. Thank you so
Right?
much for
Thank
having me
you.
on. Yes.
Okay, see you next time.
Bye.